Hi, good evening. I just wanted to wrap up Unit 3 discussion questions. We had some really good discussion and some good input, and hope to see this continue into Unit 4 and the following discussion questions. The first question I wanted to follow up on was the cost, volume, profit, and break-even point. We all seem to understand that concept between the break-even point is the point at which that our cost equaled our selling point, and technically that is the point at which our variable costs equal our sales. And here's a graph which shows example for cost, volume, profit, and that's where we look at the variables between as our sales dollars, our sales increase or decrease, and the variable costs increase or decrease, and how those affect each other. We know our fixed costs stay the same, but how does variable costs and sales dollars increase and decrease and affect our profit? So in this example, the yellow line is the sales, the gray line is our total cost, the orange line are variable costs, and the blue line is fixed costs. So at this point, as our units are going on the horizontal axis and dollars are on the vertical. So as our sales increase, of course, our variable and our total costs increase, and our sales exponentially increase. So at first, as our units are selling, we do have a point at which we have a loss because our fixed costs are at a certain amount, and until our sales exceed those fixed costs plus our variable costs, we are going to operate at a loss. But as we discussed, when our costs are covered by our sales, at that point we're going to have our break-even point. And once we exceed that point, then we are selling at a profit. So then we have our cost, volume, profit analysis. So we'll look at the different points in time and units that we can sell and how that affects our profit or what our costs would be to sell at a certain unit. So this is an example of a graph that you may see or use when looking at your cost, volume, profit. I said in our discussion, everybody seemed to have a good understanding of that, and definitely of the break-even point. Now, for the second discussion question, we wanted to talk about companies and why they would sell a product at a loss. Through the discussion questions, your post covered most of these, and you had really good ideas. One person had the example where they purchased makeup at a very low price, and since then they've continued to buy makeup from that company, and that's a very good example. That's one reason companies do sell products at a loss, to attract new customers. Another reason that we did see many examples is to sell kind of a partner product at a higher margin. They'll sell one thing at a low price or with a low, with no profit or at a loss, but to use it requires another product. So that other product they'll sell with a very high margin, such like razors and their handles. So you might initially buy the package with the razor at a loss, but then to buy all the razor blades, they're going to have a high margin. And then another reason would be just to draw in customers and hope they buy more, such as milk or eggs. A lot of times those are even placed in the back of the store, and they hope that as you go to buy the milk or the eggs at the back of the store, you pick up other items as you walk through. maybe toilet paper or paper towels or other common items um, that you might purchase at another, or soap um, that you purchase at another marketplace. Those type of items that people need on a regular basis, they might sell at a loss to attract their customers in, and so that they buy other things. Maybe a hardware store, they'll pick items, on a monthly basis, like paintbrushes in the spring because everybody's wanting to spruce up their house. So they'll paintbrushes. So they'll draw customers into their store and then hope that they buy other things. And that could also fall under the partner products because they'll sell paintbrushes at a loss, and hopefully you buy the paint then that has a very high margin. The other item that I brought up that I don't know that we saw that much in our discussion, which is one we don't really like to see, is bait and switch. I think we're all familiar with that concept. Is a company they advertise something, and in most cases at least that I'm referring to, is they actually have the item and they're selling it at a loss, but nobody wants to buy it. Let's say someone's advertising a 60-inch TV for $2.99 or $1.99. That sounds like a huge deal. It's going to be sold at a loss maybe, and everybody goes in to buy it, and either they're out, which is one thing that's kind of common, and that could fit under the bait and switch because they baited you to come in and they're going to switch because they have to show you some other item that's going to have a higher margin because they can't sell you that because they're out. Or they show you this and then they show you that it has a terrible resolution and it doesn't have any video outputs. Most people who buy a 60-inch TV want to hook it up to their sound system. So then they show you this better one that's $4.99. So that would be, bait and switch. And while the other reasons are more positive, more good reason, better reasons, more good, that's great English. They're better reasons to see a company selling products at a loss. We know it happens with bait and switch, but that's, is it wrong? I'll let everybody discuss that in ethics. To advertise, product at this great, wonderful price, and only have one product and know you're going to draw in 100, 200 people, I don't think that's the right thing to do for your customers. In the long run, it's going to end up biting you because you're going to make them mad and they'll go somewhere else. So I don't think that's the best tactic to use. I think you can find other ways. But anyways, these are just some of the common things, common reasons that a company would sell products for loss. So I just wanted to, revisit that and kind of wrap up our discussion and encourage you to keep discussing amongst each other, challenge each other. If you see one of your peers post something and you don't understand it, ask more questions. If you don't like or you don't agree with something, please question them respectfully. But that's the purpose of the discussion, is so that we learn more about the concepts from each other, and that's how we'll grow and get more out of the material, is when we can discuss it amongst each other. But unfortunately we don't have the classroom setting to discuss it, so that's why we're using the avenue of the discussion posts. So tomorrow I will have our live discussion and we will be talking about budgets. I think that's a good topic everybody enjoys. It's easy to apply because we can apply to many aspects from personal life to business. So I hope everybody can join me. I will see you tomorrow on Tuesday, January 29th.